So
I'll have to squeeze next to the frame.
further,
No, this is good.
Okay.
But we'll have to
it's a touch.
we'll have to touch. Yeah, we'll have to touch.
You can do it.
Yo. I'm gonna start us.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna speak louder because it's windy.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
You're telling me to speak louder too?
That was indirect message
On camera.
on camera. We just came back from a walk, a trail to a really beautiful lake called Aloha. We are still in the US. We're still in these beautiful mountains. And we took a little break from recording. I was like, oh wow, we took a little break, which is just nice. I was excited to record podcast today. And I think I'm coming from a place where I was revisiting the fact that I tend to sometimes plan and grasp on my, or not, yeah, I don't know if it's planning, but yeah, there's like a desire of some sort of to say something on this podcast, you know, like I told you yesterday, as I walked, I was like, whoa, this is what I want to share today, because we talked about recording podcasts eventually today. And then on the walk and on the morning, things happen, which is life, and and I had a little inner moment where I was like, whoa, I really don't want to let go of what I wanted to speak, but then it would be pretending, like I sort of lost the, yeah, I mean, it's still here, but maybe we'll get there, but it feels forced for me to just bring the topic that I wanted to talk about, which was alive until very early morning, or this morning when I was doing my morning practice, and and then and now we're here, and so maybe I now want to check with you. What do you want to share? What's alive?
Well, I think.
How do you want to make love in this moment, in this
How should we make love? I mean, I think what
forest?
that brings up in me, and we're exploring and finding our way. But it's the difference between showing up to someone or somewhere, wanting to deliver something, so wanting to say something, and the difference between showing up to say what comes in the moment. And I think oftentimes it's actually the same thing. So I think, you know, it's a delicate balance, I think, to recognize what wants to be talked about before it's there. And I think, you know, I think this in counsel, this is a practice that's talked about so much. It's like, the practice is when somebody's talking, listen. And listen with all of you, and listen with all of your heart, and trust that you'll have exactly what you need when it's your turn to speak. And I think that's so hard for all of us. And so I think we were able to touch that. And so I'm certainly wanting to hear what's alive in you, and I think this is just a beautiful recognition that so often in our world, we learn something and we just want to tell it to the people, so that and I think when we can allow mystery, and in the act of lovemaking, there's so much about being in the present moment and just like being like, okay, that is what I want to share, and now I give it away and find out what comes back. So I'll give it back to you, and why don't you just check in and find out what's alive and take us away.
So the thing is, I'm quite blank. Like I felt like there was a, you know, I was in a process, and then we came to the lake, and I sit with Rappe, and I went into the water, and I lie on the rocks, and I sort of realign with my intention for this walk, which was just kind of emptying and touching silence. So right now in this moment it's quite blank, but I can like sit with the silence and go a little bit beneath it. And I could feel the chatter that is still kind of, it's becoming more quiet, but there is a chatter that, it's this like, you know, we talk a lot about stories. Oh, I don't want to be in your story. Don't tell me your story. And I was just really kind of reflecting, and then I was like, whoa, well, everything is sort of a story to some sort. And I was kind of trying to understand why, first of all, like, am I trying to prove that my story is more valid than yours? Or are we trying to meet and like understand each stories? I'm not just talking about me and you, but like as humans. Sometimes, you know, I feel like we're in the same story and it's easy. We're like, oh, right, like we're walking, we're in a forest, but it's like this, it's quite tangible. You can like be like, right, like we're here in this moment and this is the story. But then I still don't know what is going in this person's head and what is his understanding of the reality and what is his like internal story in the moment. And so I think in a relating, there is like, and I touched today this thing I don't like. I didn't like something like in me was like, I don't like to be told that I'm putting somebody in a story. Because how do you know that I'm putting you in a story if to me it's my, like if it's the, you know, like if I am in that story and like suddenly it's like, sometimes I can see like the creation of like putting somebody really in my, how would I say it? Like in a characters, you know, I'm like, whoa, this person is doing that. That means that he's this and that, and I like create something. But then I think sometimes there's also something else, which is, and we talk a lot about this 4 agreements. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. So I think with the stories, it's really tricky to allow somebody, like, you know. Like, yeah, I thought you want to go first, but that's my story. I'm not telling you this is your story. And then it's like, don't put me in your story. And so I'm touching, I don't know if it's this like, because you're taking things personally and then we're starting to fight which story is valid. And I think there is no valid story actually, in a way, you know, there's like, at least that's, I think sometimes they're truth is very subjective, and sometimes we can like zoom out and see that there is something being manufactured. I don't know if this makes sense.
I mean, I can pick up threads of sense making in there, but it wasn't clear. There's a lot of, like, I think there's a lot of things from multiple sides that I'm feeling and hearing, and so it's, but there's one question that I think I heard in there that was like, oh, and it was like something like, how do we know we're in someone's, and I think this word story is, okay, so let's first, here's what I would say, like, we're walking as humans and we all have our individual realities that we are interfacing with the world through. And then there's also, we could call it Earth's reality. That is something like we can't touch that all the time, but it's like there's my time, and I can be in a hurry, and that can actually speed up my life and my nervous system and my emotions, and then it can create and feed, like the people around me can become hurried and nervous and all of these things. But then there's a collective story that's also like, oof, we're in time together. So there's something like an overarching story, and then there's something like a whole bunch of personal stories. For me, I don't mind. I'm usually, I hope, quite curious about what people's personal views of what's happening in a moment are, because I think that's where that's what we as humans have. That's our genius. That's like the beauty, is when we tell each other and we find things together and we see things from different sides. I think how I know I am maybe uncomfortable with someone's story is when I all of a sudden feel myself a character in it that's not true for me. So something's getting essentially projected onto me, and I'm just catching it. I'm like, oh, I'm that to you. I'm not that to me. I'm something. And so then what I like to do is, one, be like, am I right? Two, is that true? Am I missing myself? Like, am I not seeing, actually? Am I sort of being this character that I just found out about? And that's really beautiful for somebody to, for like a lover or a friend or somebody to give a true reflection and be like, you're really being quite terrible right now. There's a helicopter. And then I can take that in. Sometimes I can't hold it. So I'm like, no, I'm not that. And then we essentially get in an argument. I think this is where this is the seed of most arguments, is someone, it's not like, my experience right now is that you are making me uncomfortable, is a lot different than, like, I'm uncomfortable because of some way that you're acting right now, is different than you're acting mean. Like, it's that's the projection right there. It's a, hey, this is how you are. And it's not actually like it, you can't deny that I can't deny that I'm uncomfortable. Like, I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body, and I'm feeling like I want to go slow. And for some reason, I'm feeling a speed that doesn't feel good. Is that you? Is so much of it, that's a question, as opposed to you want to go fast. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I don't, that I know of at all. That's not in my reality in any way. And that's okay. Like, that's quite a small thing. But then if it comes again and again, suddenly I think we can pull people into characters, essentially. We can make people feel things by these projections, and it's so subtle. And so I think that's what comes up for me, as in what you're saying. And then I would also want to say, I think we could, I'm feeling that we're kind of in this like weedy place. So maybe you can, I mean, I think if you feel like you want to talk about story directly, and we want to talk about that, and I know that you had talked about, you've been thinking and feeling a lot about prayer, and I have a feeling that it might just mesh perfectly. I'm not quite sure how. So why don't you bring us to prayer based on this?
So in the morning, like yesterday, I walked, and I had this moment, like it was so strong when this realization came. It's like I was walking and I was praying. And I was realizing myself praying outwards. I was like, it's like I am looking outwards and outside of me for...
Can I ask a question? Just really quick. What does it mean that you were praying? Just if you can give that a quick definition so we can understand.
I mean, talking to spirit. Talking to spirit. And I feel like spirit and earth for me is like the two I talk to.
So would you say, is it talking to invisible things and communicating with the invisible world? Definitely. Okay. For now, maybe that can be our working definition for this conversation.
Yeah.
So you're talking to the invisible world, and and so then go ahead.
Talking to the invisible world, talking to the mystery, but when I say that, I really I feel, as I'm walking, I feel my surrounding, I feel there's beings and spirits that I can see. But then I was really when I pray, most of the time I talk to God. I don't want to use the word God too much, but I do pray to something, it's like a friend. It's my best friend who is always here, not judging me. It's like a pure love channel. So I'm like talking to this and asking for whatever help, or just even talking, so I can actually hear myself and then reflect myself back. So for me, praying is not always like, oh, I'm asking for things, but then
It's a conversation.
so it's a
you're having.
conversation.
And
Yeah.
is it coming through your mind, or is it coming through your body, or is it coming through like the world around you?
It's different. It's in different moments. It comes through different places. Usually, it's actually not so much. And so yesterday, as I walked, it was becoming clear that I was learning how to formulate clear words, like use the words. So I was using my mind. But there is so many different ways that I pray, that it's with my body, with sensations. But yesterday was very specific. And so I was using words, and I was having this dialogue, but I was sending it out there. And then I had this moment of like, whoa, wait, hold on. I was feeling the environment, so I was connected. And then I just like, everything like went in, and it was like, no, you gotta like talk to inside. Like, you're not sending it out there. Like, and then I had this moment of like, everything is mental, like universe is mental. And so then I was like seeing this beautiful mind as like the gateway into truly touching like a power that I didn't touch before of prayer. And it was like, it was like, I felt it. I was like, whoa, I'm touching something powerful here. I don't think it was yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. And also there was there's like these signs, like we talked about, you know, I had this colibri 2 times coming to me, and
Hummingbird, for those Americans.
hummingbird and the snake, and there's like these very special beings coming and just like sending some sort of vibration. And I told you like this morning.
Coming at like specific times where you're in a question and
Yeah.
you're in that place.
I think with the hummingbird, it was like, as I'm working through my shadows, which, yeah, it's like they're almost like coming to me like, and giving me energy, and be like, don't give up, don't let yourself go back into the density, like transcend, like release, just open, don't allow it to take you down. So when they come, I'm like, so it gives me, it's love, like I feel like love. It's like reminder of love when they come. Why I was saying that is that this morning when I was working with your tarot deck, and then because of the tarot deck we get into some sort of arguments, or there was a bit of our old pattern that showed up. And it was funny because as I was like with these cards and I was on the deck, I was feeling into the intention for my day. So what I've been working lately, it's like I ask myself, what am I grateful for in the moment? And then what is the one thing that I would like to do today, or like really accomplish, whether it's in work or in my personal life. And then there's like the last one is, what do I want to emanate as a quality? And so as I was with these cards, I was like, today I just want to be present and aware, and be with myself, with nature. And then there was the other one was like, I want to emanate presence. It was like being present. And then I felt really light, and then we start, talking about the cards, and then somehow I was turned into my emotional body, and I was like, is this the answer to because one of my prayer was like, can I just today empty and release? Like, can I just have, basically I wanted to ask to not have work to do today, because I feel tired. It's always like whether it's our project that we're working on, whether it's our dream, or whether it's our personal work or with other people. But today I was like, today I want to be empty. And then this came and I was just like, interesting. So I'm looking at it as, I was like, okay, can I be present with this? And then, yeah, how how do you feel about what I shared?
Well, I mean, I think for me, when I interact, when I pray, and especially if I think you're touching something potent and powerful, where it's like we do, especially in the Christian faith and many faiths, we think of prayer as like way out there. It's like, hey, like guy or girl, like way up in the sky who has power and this, like, please bring me this because life is so hard. And I think there really is, and it's very difficult to bring it in. And it's a lot of, I think what I've been sharing, where it's like I think something I shared with you the other day was there's just like, really, I would say there's no place for judgment in the human species, but maybe there's something like that in some archetypal places. And for me, I know I'm out of alignment if I feel judgment, which is often, and it's basically like, it feels like something different than what I would call judgment. But if I haven't found the place in me that would do the thing that I'm judging, or that is the thing that I'm judging. So if I'm judging somebody for murder, then I better have found out where I would murder. Like, and it's a funny thing, because like, it's not that you shouldn't judge somebody, but we were sort of speaking about this. That's a whole nother topic. To bring that back to, I think when you touch that power of prayer and you call something in, like, I want to be clear and I want to emanate presence, in my experience, what we are given in a material reality, what then the mystery reflects to us, is all the ways that we aren't able to do that. And like, to the degree that our day is giving us like, here's how you can't hold clarity, it's actually like a successful prayer. So then I think what I feel is oftentimes, if there's an interwoven story in many couples, and certainly in us, that is like, there's this like, man, I'm just doing my best here and you are fill in the blank. That's a judgment. That's basically not taking, just like, I'm in full ownership of my experience. There really is, my partner is not to blame for any emotion that I'm feeling. They're a gift that's helping me feel myself and what I do with the emotions that are in me. And so I think that's a lot of times where I feel we get trapped. It's in a, but you did, but you are. But there's this subtle outward judgment, anger, projection, fear, like all these things that are, and we've talked about it, that I feel I'm like, they're looking at me to do something, essentially. And it's a lot of like, for me, this draws back to my childhood wound, which is not surprising. There's a like, if you just slow down, pick this up, are quiet, then everything will be better. And that's usually when my wild animal kind of comes out. So when I feel anybody that I let into my space, and I feel a subtle should, I went through a process of being like, I'm not shadow stalking, I'm should stalking. I'm should hunting all the shoulds that I have for myself, and then all the shoulds that other people that I'm spending time with have for me. I want people to say, you should, but I want it like expressed. If I feel it, then I'm either out of alignment and I'm lying to myself, or it's true. Either way, I get, like, that's where my hackles and my like energy body starts to get untrustworthy, you might say. And then I just want to turn away. I'm like, I don't want to play if there's a should in the space, even if I did something wrong. So that's like not necessarily about prayer, but in terms of this subtle place where, and I just want to, like, there's, I don't think there's like these places where we fight with each other. And I think the big we, like where lovers, people that really care about each other and want each other's best, and where we fight are sometimes so, they're so subtle and they're so silent. And that's what shadows are. Shadows are doing these like inner things that our conscious don't see. So we are projecting small things. And we're like, I'm not projecting anything. And then there's like a feeling and we're projecting it. And I think I think we can, just like we can feel somebody that's angry at us at a grocery store, we can especially feel those that we share an energy body with all the time when there's something out of alignment. So when I tell you, I just want this, and it's not true, you feel that I'm lying, essentially. And that comes into your body. So that's what comes up. So and often I'll just say this, like, when I get into this place, I feel crazy because I can't tell if I'm making an assumption or if I'm feeling something that's true to me. What I do know is I just want space. Like, I just want disconnection, because I'm like, either I'm untrustworthy because I'm making an assumption, or I'm feeling something. It feels like the same thing to me. Whether I'm making an assumption or whether somebody's projecting something at me, I'm like, regardless, I'm to blame. Like, so we need disconnection, and then we need to come back together in love. There's no, I haven't found the place in me that can be like, okay, that can just in the moment deal with that and talk through it. It just feels like kind of what's the word for it? It's like a ticking time bomb. And so I just want to be like, hey, let's move apart and let's come back together when both of us are clear and present.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely, when I look at no, I definitely think that, and I know that whenever I pray in my life, there's a learning of, like, I never know how the prayer will be answered, and it's always in the best way, and it's and often the times it's not how I expect at all, and so I'm actually relaxing very much into myself. Like, it's
I see that.
I am not I'm learning to not be disappointed and put some judgments on top of it, which would be like but like taking it as an opportunity to release something, or to transcend something, or to align with the prayer, basically, to and I had a story. My story was like, my story in the morning was like, wow, I'm basically put into a vortex that I really didn't want to be in, and I could, like, now be like, as you said, like, you did it or whatever. But
can I just, for a moment, I mean, one, I just want to reflect, yes, you are, I feel togetherness in so many ways. And I feel I feel for the most part us getting very clear and being able to face challenges together without having to be like, oh, we're in a challenge, so there must be this, and there's just a duality. So I feel all of that work that you've been doing and I've been able to experience, because I hadn't actually been in a relationship where, and so I'm growing and learning too, but I had thought a lot about, and maybe, I'd felt into and written about healthy relating in that way. I think the idea that it's just like language is so, it always shows in this. I did feel like I was put in a place. Like there has to be an act. Somebody has to do the putting. And that somebody can just be you. Like I put me in a place or John put me in a place. It doesn't matter at that point. It's a assumption, a projection, and it is a dueling story as opposed to I'm in a place. Oh, I'm in a place and John's here. Like that's such a different frequency that now something can be understood. And so these little assumptions of like and that's where I'm usually that's what I call the victim. Like there's an immediate like boundary. So somebody's doing something to somebody else. I might be the somebody doing something to me. It's the same frequency of othering, separateness, as opposed to being like, whoa, oosh, I'm feeling the wind. I'm feeling where I am, and I'm feeling like I see a villain in my partner, and oh my God, we have something to do together now, and we'll meet it together because this is my love. And now that's what we have to meet because I might have prayed for it, or he might have prayed for it, or it's just here and it's our work to do. But it is ours to do. We are hand in hand. We are warriors on the path together. And so no matter where we are, it is us. And to me, this is lovemaking. It's not like easy. It's actually like we allow ourselves to be in the shadows and we don't immediately other whoever's in there with us. We are like, I'm so happy that you're here with me. I'm feeling that you're playing the devil. How's that landing for you? You know, like, and it doesn't mean that I won't be the devil in that moment, but there is a subtle difference in frequency that I think allows for essentially the wild unknown, orgasmic new reality to take form. We can't know what will happen, but we have to believe that we can make it through something together. And I think as a species, we're so used to pointing finger immediately when something's not how we expected it to be.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And I think when you said this, I mean, it's landing more and more. I was just reflecting back, like in our morning conversation during breakfast, and I think when there was a moment where whatever I said to or talking about Mayans and history, and I think when so basically I said something and then you're like, well, it's almost like you would not hear what I just said, and Can
I instead of going around
let me get there. Yeah.
But let's say what was said, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Because and I can because I do what I can to be like, where was I triggered? And the triggering is something we've been talking about. And so I said, I think something to the form of like speaking to the Christian faith and the Catholic Church, potentially like creating a story. So this is an entity and a religion and a belief system and a culture creating a story that made the Mayan
like demonized them.
That demonized the Mayan faith, when actually what we were talking about was it's such a beautiful and light-filled feeling. Mm-hmm. Your response, it wasn't about that I took it personally. It's you said there was a they. So what triggered me was you're like, yeah, they make movies and they do this like Indian. And so what the triggering for me, and this isn't okay, is that suddenly when I'm feeling that we are pointing at some humans that are doing something, that some cabal or some bad people, and there's just some planning, because we've been talking about that, I then was like, now we're talking about something different. We're blaming people as opposed to talking about what happened to this faith. And it feels like we're suddenly, and so that's where over breakfast, similarly, I'm very tired. I just got triggered because my past is filled with a lot of people that say the word, they're responsible, they did this, they're doing this,
okay.
and so it's that.
You don't have to go. So you were triggered.
Yes.
And I was just saying something about, oh, I agree with you. Yes, I think it's already started when they were making the movies like Indiana Jones, and you can see it there. And then you literally jump at me with a frequency that was anger. It was, why would you even said that now after, it's like you didn't even listen. And in that moment I was like, whoa, I stepped into a mind territory, because I was just like, and I didn't even like, wasn't given a space to broaden my perspective or to just be like, you know, like guided. So I was just like, whoa, okay. And then we kept going, and it slipped there the second time. And I actually could see that I wasn't creating that.
So I just
but
want
in
to
that
agree with
moment, I want to go back to what you said. So I was like, whoa, okay. And in that moment, I just wanted to, basically, where I wanted to get to is I wasn't back to my prayer, if anything. It's in that moment I was like, whoa, we are doing this thing, and I wanted to escape it. So I wasn't present with it. I wasn't there like, whoa, we are, okay, like, hey, presence, awareness. Okay, be here with him. What is he trying to show you? Or
he's
like
grumpy.
Or like open yourself
No,
to
he's grumpy.
to him as he is. Try not to like, because I was kind of trying to like kind of shut down the movie. I was just like, oh, how do I get out of this? And that was just make everything worse.
Yes, because there's and so yes, and all of the things you just said, yes, just yes, me, yes, triggering, yes, unexpected conversation. That's what a trigger is for me. So like if I become triggered, and then somebody tries to do something as opposed to just is with me, then I become, basically I want to separate. And so if you're like, oh, hey, love, we're a little grumpy this morning. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's just anything like that, if there's just recognition of me, as opposed to allowing me to pull you into my trigger and then us being, just be like, because I do my best to hold a frequency of like love and non-projection, but I am not anywhere close to perfect. And, especially when I'm just wanting like, the same thing that you're wanting, essentially, which is stillness and peace and aloneness, and to be on a walk with you, but not with you, and to be in nature together, but like not looking at each other. And so when I'm wanting that, because I'm tired, I'm not saying that you have to do it, but that's what would bring me out of let's say a trigger moment, is just to be like, hey, big guy, like, let's not go there. It seems like you're a little grumpy. Like, why don't you finish eating and get some food in your body, and then we'll go on our hike. You know, like, there's just a kind way to hold us.
I don't know about kind, but it's really to be present with what is.
To me, that's the most kind thing.
I think kind can be defined in so many different ways for so many different people. For some people, kindness, it's like hug, or kindness is like bring, you know, like. Yeah, so I would
kindness is truth to me.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say kind, but like what I'm touching with you, and it's beautiful. It's like being present with what is, and I think that's like the teaching is, because if whatever comes in the moment, we're not able to meet it with our presence, we are turning away. We are trying to push it away. So
hello.
That was so perfect. That was so perfect. I think I have to
I got it. You stay there.
Yeah. Maybe the whole time. We were maybe not even in the frame the whole time.
That's like shaking.
That was like magic.
Janky ass tripod.
It's like push away with push. Okay, I won't say this anymore. But it was really this, like, for me now it's like a new understanding. It's like, oh my God, it is in a way the kindness is to be present, without like, because I think all these other things are mechanism of how to not be present.
Can I put
basically.
another word on all those other things?
Yes.
If we're not present, then we're operating out of a shadow, some version of a shadow, be it a golden shadow, some perception of ourselves, some perception of the moment, as opposed to what is actually. So yeah, that feels
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Great. So that was
Nailed it.
That was the answer to my prayer. But I also, we're here, and it feels like one thing I'm also wanted to underline because of what you said, and I do see how often when we have a prayer, but in order to even receive what are we praying for, first of all, we need to like become embodied version of ourselves to even be able to hold it. And then I'm seeing this, like, there's always situation in the every moment, day to day, in the time, which will come, and if you don't face them, you're not present with them, and you don't allow the lesson, you don't take it, it's, first of all, it's work, so it will come back and come back and come back, and then it will come back worse and then come back worse, until you are not like realizing, oh my God, this is what I've been praying for. I need to like be with this, with what is here, and then like transcend this moment. And I'm thinking about my friend who are sitting. We were sitting at the place, and there was a really loud music, and I was like, "Whoa, let's go, it's annoying." And he's like, "No, the music is here. So it's here for purpose. Whatever, if it's you or if it's me, well, we're gonna work with this. Like, I don't want to be going because something's disturbing me from the outside. It's an external. So I'm gonna like be actually open to it. Why is it disturbing? You know?" And so he like very beautifully showed me this like studying of the triggers and the answers to our prayers in a different forms. Yeah.
Yeah, what this reminds me of, and just your story and what we worked through today, is that I think oftentimes, you know, what we're praying for, if we're praying for our own inner world to move, is to see and to see our shadows, which are something like our gifts that are unacknowledged, unobserved gifts. So we're attempting to see the power and the fullness of us, but in order to do that, we have to see our shadows. Shadows are unconscious by their nature, so we have to become conscious of them. The way we become conscious of our shadows is we allow them to take us over and possess us. And so often, I think this is a very misunderstood part of the healing process, and you can see it at a global level when we're praying to be light and love and a whole bunch. Well, we have to see all of the things now. So like, to the degree that we held a good prayer is the degree that we are going to express our shadows. We can express those quicker and deeper and with more reverence and with more clarity, but we have to move through them. So we have to see our evil, and we have to see it expressed on those that we're with, and we have to catch it. And it's not always beautiful, and it's not always perfect, and it usually takes a few goes. And like in astrology, like each transit, almost all transits go 3 times. And it's really beautiful to track this, because it's like you get a pass, you get another pass, and then on the third one, if you did your work, it's like you, to some degree, the third one can feel, sometimes it can feel the most beautiful, and like, oh, but sometimes it's like the hardest final moment of like, I thought I was finished with this. But we have to really like do the full integrative work of managing ourselves and being able to experience and feel every level of fear or anger or emotional like charge, and then be able to walk with like love and hold a frequency that's like, wow, I can really feel that anger that I have, and like, let me work with that in a good way. Not let me like push it away. Let me fully express it, and let me allow it, and let me love myself while I'm feeling it, but let me not take it out on somebody from a place where I'm not recognizing my own self, and I'm giving away some part of what I'm doing to them. And so our shadows are just us owning all of the ways that we are not what we think we are. We are not what we would like to be. And then all of a sudden, when we own them, we're really happy that we are these things. And we're like, wow, I do want to be this. I want this shadow. Because that's actually just my gift. That is my beautiful thing that I now understand, and I don't have to express, but I still have to feel it as it's coming.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I don't want to be adding anything to it. I'm getting cold and it's getting really windy. Yeah, I think that was well said. Thank you.
Thank you.